The first time Malik Johnson pushed open the glass door of Crestwood Boxing Academy, he knew exactly what was waiting on the other side. He'd seen it in their eyes before. That sharp flicker of judgment. That silent way people scanned his skin, his clothes, his posture, trying to calculate what kind of threat he might be. The gym smelled like money. Not sweat and iron, like the gyms Malik grew up in, but eucalyptus, fresh towels, leather gloves still shiny from the last suburban sparring session. There was a receptionist, for God's sake. A whole front desk. The second he walked in, the noise died down. A dozen white guys turned to look at him. Some were young, with chiseled jaws and Ivy League tattoos. Some older, their knuckles fat from years of fights that never left the gym. All of them paused. All of them stared. He wore an old hoodie with the sleeves cut off, gray sweatpants stained with motor oil, and a pair of Everlasts so worn, the right one was held together with duct tape. His bag hung from his shoulder like dead weight. Can I help you?" the receptionist asked, glancing quickly at the coach across the gym floor. Malik nodded. "Yeah. I'm here to train. I box." The silence that followed was heavy. Coach Rick stepped forward. He was in his late 50s, built like a tree trunk, with a permanent scowl and a faded Marine Corps tattoo peeking from under his tee. He didn't smile. Didn't offer a handshake. "You from around here?" Rick asked, eyeing Malik like a busted glove. "Detroit," Malik said simply. Someone near the ring chuckled. Another muttered, "Wrong side of town." Rick wiped his hands on a towel and sighed. "We run a serious program here. We ain't a YMCA. No freebies, no street fights. You got experience?" "Yeah," Malik said. "Golden Gloves finalist. Twice." A few of the guys snorted. One voice, cocky and nasal, cut through. "Yeah, right. And I'm Floyd F. * in Mayweather." That was Bobby. Shirtless, pale, and ripped, with a jaw made for smirking. He leaned against the ropes with taped fists, and a silver chain bouncing on his chest. "Why don't you take that bus back to 8 Mile, bro?" Bobby grinned. "This ain't no rec center." Malik didn't blink. He didn't flinch. He just set down his bag and started unwrapping his hoodie. Rick looked him over again. "You want a shot? Get in the ring. Let's see what you got." The locker room was cold and quiet. Malik tied his boots slowly, ignoring the echo of laughter from outside. In his head, he heard his sister Jayla's voice. "Don't let them get in your head, Lee. You were born for this. Not to fight. To prove." He closed his eyes and exhaled. He could still see his dad's old speed bag in their crumbling garage, the one with a hole patched by duct tape and dreams. He could still smell the rain that leaked through the tin roof while he trained in the dark. He wasn't here to make friends. He wasn't here to make them feel comfortable. He was here because the ring don't lie. Back outside, the gym circled around the sparring ring. Phones were out. Some guys bet on Bobby. No one bet on Malik. Coach Rick stood by the bell. 3 rounds. Light contact. No knockouts, he barked. "You do anything stupid, you're out." Malik nodded. Bobby smirked and bounced on his heels like he was at a frat party. The bell rang. The first 10 seconds were a blur. Bobby came in wild, fast hands and zero defense. A showboat. Malik didn't move much, he didn't need to. He slipped one jab, parried a hook, let Bobby swing himself off balance. Then, in one clean motion, Malik stepped in and landed a left to the ribs that folded Bobby like a beach chair. The crowd gasped. Bobby stumbled back, his grin wiped clean. "Lucky shot," someone whispered. The second round began. Bobby was slower now, guarded. Malik danced around him, tapping his gloves, setting the rhythm. A jab here. A body shot there. Clean. Surgical. Like he was painting with pain. By the third round, it was quiet. No laughter. No snide remarks. Just the sound of gloves on flesh, breath through mouth guards, and Bobby gasping for air. When it was over, Bobby leaned against the ropes, drenched in sweat. His ego bruised worse than his ribs. Malik stood in the center, barely winded, gloves at his sides. Coach Rick stared at him for a long time. Then he nodded. Afterward, no one said anything at first. Then a guy named Troy stepped forward, held out his fist. "That was clean, man. Respect." One by one, others followed. Even Bobby gave a nod before limping to the showers. Rick clapped a hand on Malik's shoulder. "You want to train here, kid? You're in." Malik didn't smile. He just grabbed his bag and headed to the heavy bags. Jayla would be proud. Malik was the first one in the gym the next morning. The lights were still flickering overhead, the janitor hadn't even left yet. He walked past the ring like it was sacred ground, dropped his bag near the wall, and began wrapping his hands. The whole gym was silent except for the faint thump-thump-thump of the old heavy bag. Each strike was a prayer. Each breath a promise. He hit the bag like he had something to prove, because he did. In a tiny two-bedroom apartment on the east side of Detroit, Jayla Johnson, Malik's younger sister, sat at the kitchen table surrounded by textbooks, balancing an old laptop on one knee and a mug of instant coffee in the other. Her phone buzzed. Camera with flash new message from Lee. "Sparred their golden boy. Cracked him like a fortune cookie. Coach said I'm in?" Jayla smiled to herself. "Told you. Just don't let him change you." She was the one who believed in him when nobody else did. Their mom passed when they were kids, and their father, well, he wasn't the kind of man you mourn. Jayla was 20, going through nursing school on scholarships and late-night hustle. Malik fought not just for glory. He fought to get them both out. Back at Crestwood, things felt different. The same guys who stared through Malik yesterday now nodded when he passed. Not exactly buddy-buddy, but less cold. Like he was no longer invisible. Except for Coach Rick. He kept his distance. Watched Malik through narrowed eyes, arms crossed. He was old school, knew when a fighter had more in his fists than just skill. Again, Rick barked one morning as Malik hit mitts. "You're dropping your back shoulder. You do that in a real fight, someone's gonna knock you back to Belle-Isle." Malik adjusted his stance. Rick watched in silence for a while, then muttered, "You ever fight southpaw?" Malik nodded. "Used to. Switched up when I broke my wrist back in high school." Rick tossed him a towel. "Switch back next round. Show me." Meanwhile, Bobby hadn't forgotten his bruises, or his bruised ego. He kept quiet around Malik, but tension hung between them like humid air. In the locker room, Bobby would shoot sideways glances. One day, as Malik walked past, Bobby muttered, "Bet you think you're hot shit now." Malik turned. "Nah. Just not a joke." Bobby scoffed. "You think you're better than us?" Malik didn't blink. "You said us like we're a team." The locker room went dead silent. Even Troy, who was drying off in the corner, froze. Then Bobby chuckled. "Whatever, man. Just don't get too comfortable. One lucky sparring match don't make you ollie." That night, Malik walked home from the bus stop. The streets were cracked, shadows stretched long between flickering streetlights. He passed the corner store, the same one he used to run from when the older kids chased him. He paused outside an abandoned garage. The walls were peeling. The old wooden sign still read, "Jefferson Boxing Club, his father's place." He stepped inside. Dust and silence. The ring was gone. The bags were rotted. But the mirror was still there, cracked, like memory. Malik stared at his reflection. "You don't owe them shit," he whispered to himself. "You owe you." The next morning at Crestwood, Coach Rick stood at the chalkboard, writing out the rotation. When he turned, he found Malik already shadowboxing near the far ring. "You ever hear of Ray Boom Boom White?" Rick asked. Malik shook his head. "First black boxer allowed to fight here. Back in '82. Came in swinging like a demon, scared the hell out of everyone. Nobody'd touch him. Then one night he took a dive. Threw a fight for cash. Never fought again." Malik paused. "That why you didn't want me here?" Rick's jaw flexed. No. I didn't want anyone here chasing ghosts. Malik looked him dead in the eyes. I'm not here for history, coach. I'm here to rewrite it. That week, Malik trained harder than anyone. He didn't talk much. Let his fists speak. Word started spreading. That kid from Detroit got hands. A local fight promoter named Derek, Big D, Vance stopped by the gym, watching from behind dark glasses. He didn't say much, just scribbled notes as Malik sparred. Rick noticed. Big D don't come around unless he smells money, he muttered. But Malik wasn't looking for flash. He just wanted a shot. And that shot came faster than expected. Friday afternoon. Rick posted a new fight card on the board. Memo: next Saturday night, Flint Invitational, middleweight match, Bobby Ellis vs. Malik Johnson. The gym went silent. Bobby looked at the board, then back at Malik. Real fight, huh? He smirked. Guess we'll see if duct tape holds up under pressure. Malik didn't even look up from his jump rope. Guess we'll see if your ribs healed. That night, Jayla met him outside the corner deli. She had tears in her eyes, holding an envelope. Full scholarship. They picked me. I got in. Malik grinned and hugged her tight. I told you, Jay. We're getting out. But deep down, he knew. He had one more mountain to climb before that dream became real. Saturday night. Flint Invitational. The gym smelled like sweat, liniment oil, and popcorn. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. The bleachers were packed, a mix of old heads in leather jackets, young wannabes in fake chains, and real fight lovers sipping from paper cups. But all eyes were on the middleweight card. Bobby Ellis vs. Malik Johnson. And everyone knew the backstory. Coach Rick stood near the locker room door, arms crossed like a sentinel. Malik sat on the bench, headphones on, eyes closed. The bass thumped in his chest, Kendrick's voice in his head. If I gotta slap a pussy ass and asterisk, I'ma make it look sexy. Asterisk. Jayla peeked her head in, holding a duffel bag. You ready? Malik looked up. I'd been ready. She tossed him a pair of white and gold gloves. Do it for you. Not for them. Meanwhile, in the opposite locker room, Bobby was lacing up with his crew, hyping him up. You got this, B. Show that boy this ain't the hood. Bobby looked into the mirror. His nose still had a slight curve from that first sparring match. He touched it. Then growled. Time to remind everyone who the F I am. The bell rang for the undercards. A couple featherweights danced and dodged. Then two light heavyweights slugged it out like bulls. But it was the middleweight match everyone waited for. Phones were out. People stood. Whispers buzzed through the crowd like electricity. Rick walked Malik to the edge of the curtain. You nervous? He asked. Malik smirked. You. Rick chuckled. Just remember, you already won the second you walked into this place. Everything after this? Bonus. Announcer voice through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen. In the red corner, weighing in at 160 pounds, hometown hero, Crestwood's own, Bobby Blitz Ellis. Cheers erupted. Bobby came out swinging fists in the air, hype music blaring. And in the blue corner, hailing from Detroit, Michigan, Malik No Smoke Johnson. Less applause. A few side eyes. But one group of kids near the front row stood up and screamed. All black. All smiling. Malik nodded toward them. They saw him. And that was enough. Round 1. Bobby came in hot. Hooks. Jabs. Aggression. Malik kept it cool. Stayed light on his feet. Let Bobby tire himself. His coach's voice echoed in his memory. Control the pace. Don't fight his fight. Make him fight yours. The crowd cheered every swing Bobby threw, even the misses. But in the last 10 seconds, Malik slipped a jab and landed a clean left uppercut. Bobby stumbled. The cheers quieted. Bell rings. Round 1 to Bobby, barely. Round 2. Malik stepped up the tempo. Worked the body. moved like a ghost in the ring. Every punch he landed wasn't just a hit, it was a message. To Bobby. To the crowd. To everyone who doubted him. At one point, Bobby clinched and whispered, "You ain't shit. Just lucky." Malik whispered back, "Luck don't make ribs crack." Boom, right hook. Bobby staggered again. Now the crowd was watching. Not just cheering. Some began leaning forward. Round 3. Coach Rick yelled from the corner, "Now, Malik! Turn it up!" Malik came out with fire. Feint left. Uppercut. Body shot. Bobby gasped, the wind knocked out of him. Suddenly, the room felt heavy. Malik heard his mom's voice. Saw his sister's tears when the landlord banged on their door. He felt the sting of walking into Crestwood and being treated like a shadow. This wasn't a match anymore. This was freedom. Boom. Right cross. Bobby hit the mat. The gym exploded. Referee. 1, 2. Bobby struggled. His leg kicked. His eyes were wide. 7. He rolled to his knees. 9. Stood up. Wobbly. Ref checked. Let it go. Final seconds of round 3. Bobby tried to swing. Missed. Malik caught him with a jab so clean it echoed. Bell rang. Crowd roared. Not just the kids. Not just Jayla. Even the ones who didn't clap when he walked in. Now they saw him. Fight went to the judges. Split decision. But the moment before the announcement, the whole gym was dead quiet. Winner by split decision, from Detroit, Malik N.O. Smoke Johnson. The place erupted. Bobby stormed out of the ring, bleeding pride and bruised ego. Rick climbed in, held Malik's hand up. Whispers in the crowd turned to cheers. Jayla pushed through the crowd and jumped the ropes to hug him. "You did it, Lee!" He smiled. "No. We did." After the crowd thinned out, Rick and Malik sat in the corner of the ring. Empty gym. Silence again. Rick pulled out an old photo. A black fighter, young, shredded, smiling. "Boom Boom White." Rick nodded. "He was my best friend," Rick said. "We trained together. I didn't stop him from throwing that fight. I should've. But I was scared. Thought it wasn't my place." He looked at Malik. "You just made it your place." 2 days after the fight, Malik woke up to his name trending on Twitter. "Detroit kid knocks out Crestwood's golden boy. Black excellence in the ring. Malik knows Smoke Johnson proves racists wrong." His inbox was flooded. ESPN wanted an interview. BT wanted a feature. Some guy named Tyree from LA messaged on Instagram, offering to link with real ones in the industry. Jayla was already up, sitting at the kitchen table in her scrubs, scrolling through her phone. "You famous now," she said without looking up. Malik blinked. "That fast?" She looked at him finally. "Welcome to the internet, baby." Later that week, he walked into the gym. Every head turned. Same place that once looked through him now lit up when he walked through the door. Some of the guys who once laughed behind his back ran over to shake his hand. "Yo Malik, that combo in round 3? Bro, nasty. Teach me that jab slip, man, please." You see the look on Bobby's face? He didn't know what hit him. Even Tony, the smug white dude who once mocked Malik's footwork, patted him on the back. "Didn't know you had it like that, dog." Malik just nodded. Smiled a little. But inside? He wasn't sure whether to trust it. Coach Rick stood by the ring, arms folded. "You walk indifferent now." Malik smirked. "I earned that strut." Rick raised an eyebrow. "Confidence is good. Arrogance'll break your jaw." Malik dropped his bag. "So what now?" Rick handed him a flyer. Regional qualifier. Madison, Wisconsin. 6 weeks out. You win that? Doors start opening. Next few weeks were a whirlwind. Interviews. Podcasts. Fan DMs. People asking for autographs after sparring sessions. Malik even got invited to a fancy restaurant by some boxing promoter from Florida. All white tablecloths and overpriced wine. Jayla came along, tight black dress, curls down. She kept giving Malik looks during dinner, especially when the promoter, Barry Fontaine, kept saying stuff like, "You're different, Malik. Marketable. Got that urban edge, but you speak well too. That balance sells, my friend." Jayla squeezed Malik's hand under the table. Later that night, back at the apartment, she sat on the bed while he undressed. "You ever feel like people don't see you, just what you represent?" He looked at her in the mirror. "All the time. But not everyone was happy." Bobby Ellis went quiet after the fight. Didn't return to the gym. His Instagram turned dark. No posts. Rumor had it he was training privately. Some even said he was considering switching weight classes. But then one morning, Malik came to the gym and saw something spray-painted on the side wall. "Flint ain't for punks. Go back to Detroit." Rick called the cops. They painted it over the next day. But Malik stood in front of it for a long time before training, jaw clenched. Jayla came by and saw him staring. "You good?" He nodded. "Just noise." But it wasn't just outside noise. The more famous he got, the more pressure built up. Sponsorship calls. Agents reaching out with contracts. Old friends from Detroit suddenly remembered his number. One night, his cousin Dre called from back home. They hadn't spoken in 2 years. "Yo, Lee, I see you on TV. You eating now? Big time." Malik laughed. "Trying, man. You remember who put gloves on you first though, right?" Dre added. "You owe the block, fam." The call ended weird. Left Malik uneasy. Back at the gym, things changed too. Rick started pushing harder. "You wanna be great or just popular? Again. Faster. Drop the ego, Johnson." Some nights Malik walked out the gym soaked in sweat, muscles screaming, thinking, "Is this what greatness costs?" He missed the simple days. Back when no one expected anything. Back when every punch was just for survival, not for branding or interviews. One night, after a particularly brutal session, Malik limped home. Jayla was waiting. "Barry called," she said. "He offered to fly you out to Miami. Photo shoots. Big gym. Real managers." Malik dropped his gloves. "I ain't trying to be no brand model." Jayla looked disappointed. "This could set you up, Malik." He slumped on the couch. "I just want to fight." She sat next to him. "You will. But the world's watching now." He leaned on her shoulder. "Feels like the more people see me, the less they actually see me." 2 weeks before regionals, Malik had a dream. He was back in Crestwood. The old gym. Only this time, Bobby was in the ring. Laughing. The crowd chanted, "Imposter! Imposter!" Malik's gloves felt like lead. His legs wouldn't move. He woke up in a sweat. That morning, he trained harder than ever. Rick noticed. "You chasing something?" the coach asked. Malik shook his head. "Nah. I'm running from it." Then came the offer that shook everything. Bobby Ellis wanted a rematch. Not official. Just a private match. No cameras. No crowd. Just them and their trainers. Rick said no. Jayla said hell no. But Malik? He didn't answer. He stared out the window at the skyline. The city glowing under the night. And finally whispered, "Tell him I'll be there." The location was off-grid. An old warehouse on the east side of Crestwood. Leaking roof. Smelled like sweat and rust. No logos. No gloves with sponsors. No crowd. Just 2 men. 2 corners. And one reason. To settle the score. Bobby Ellis stood across the ring. White mouthguard. Red trunks. No smile. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. There was hate in his stare, not just anger, not just pride, hate. That deep, ugly kind. The kind that doesn't come from the ring, but from how you're raised. Malik bounced on his feet. Calm. Controlled. Jayla stood just outside the ring with her arms crossed. Rick leaned in, whispered low. You don't owe him this. But if you're gonna do it, make sure he remembers it. Malik nodded once. Bell rang. First round was silent. No announcer. No crowd. Only the thwack of gloves, the squeak of shoes, and grunts echoing off metal walls. Bobby came in wild, swinging haymakers like a drunk brawler. Malik ducked, weaved, shoulder rolled, letting him gas himself out. Come on, big shot! Bobby hissed. You think you're better than me? You think you belong here? Malik didn't answer. Just snapped a jab to the nose. Then another. And another. Blood spurted from Bobby's nostrils by the end of round 1. Round 2, Bobby adjusted. He started working the body. 2 left hooks to the ribs. A quick uppercut that stunned Malik for a second. You soft now, Bobby taunted. All them interviews got you weak. Malik's vision blurred for a moment. Then, crack, he landed a right cross that twisted Bobby's head like it was on a swivel. Bobby staggered. Malik stepped back. Let him recover. Rick shouted, Don't play nice! This ain't no after-school club. Jayla just stared, arms tight across her chest, jaw locked. Round 3, gloves off. Not literally, but in spirit. Bobby went dirty. Elbows. Low shots. Clinched Malik and whispered, You still just a hood rat. Ain't nothing changed. Something in Malik snapped. All the times he was called a thug. All the you people stares. All the gym whispers when he walked by. He slipped Bobby's right hook and buried a left into his liver. Bobby gasped. Then dropped to a knee. But this wasn't about knockouts. Not tonight. Malik stepped back. Gave him space. Get up, he said coldly. We not done. Round 4, the talk ends. Bobby didn't speak anymore. Just grunted. Swung. Bled. And Malik? He turned into something else. Precision. Rhythm. Fire. Right jab. Step out. Left hook. Pivot. Uppercut. His body moved like poetry. Like everything he learned, every pain he swallowed, had finally become muscle memory. By the end of the round, Bobby's eye was almost swollen shut. But he still stood. Stubborn. Or proud. Or stupid. Final round. Rick didn't even give instructions. Jayla walked up to the side of the ring. Finish this. For you. Not for them. Malik nodded. Bell rang. Bobby charged, roaring. Swinging with everything he had left. Malik slipped the first hook. Blocked the second. Then, boom. A brutal, clean, right cross to the jaw. Bobby collapsed like a dropped statue. Flat. Still. Done. Malik stood over him, chest heaving. Sweat and blood running down his temple. No cheers. No lights. Just silence. The ring don't lie. After the fight, Bobby didn't speak. Didn't shake hands. Didn't look up. He limped out of the warehouse with his trainer, a towel pressed against his face. Rick clapped Malik's shoulder. You did what you had to. Malik sat on the edge of the ring, unwrapping his gloves. Jayla knelt beside him. How you feel? He looked at her. Tired. But lighter. Clean, he said. The next week, the regional qualifier began. Bigger arena. Bigger fighters. Bigger spotlight. But Malik wasn't shaken anymore. He fought different now. Not just to prove himself, but because he knew who he was. Reporters swarmed. Is it true you beat Bobby Ellis in a private fight? What does this mean for black fighters in traditional gyms? Do you see yourself as a role model for racial change in sports? Malik smiled. Shook his head. I'm just a fighter, he said. But yeah, I'm fighting for more than titles. 2 months later, ESPN aired a segment. Footage of Malik training. Jayla watching from the sidelines. Coach Rick barking from the edge of the ring. Narration said, Malik Johnson isn't just a fighter. He's a statement. A kid from Detroit who walked into an all-white gym and changed the narrative. Back at Crestwood Gym, things changed. New kids came in: black, Latino, Asian. Rick opened more doors. Started a scholarship program for underprivileged fighters. Malik helped fund it. One day, a skinny kid from the east side walked in. Dark-skinned. Nervous. Alone. Malik handed him gloves. Welcome, he said. You're gonna like it here. 6 months later. Las Vegas, Nevada. Neon lights. Sold-out arena. Cameras. Suits. Promoters. National Golden Gloves Championship. And in the middle of it all, Malik Johnson. He stood under the hot lights, wrapped hands flexing, eyes closed. Breathing steady. Jayla tightened his gloves. Rick checked his wraps one more time. You ready? Rick asked. Malik opened his eyes. Calm. Solid. I was born ready. His opponent. Jackson, Red Lion Carter. 25-0 record. Knockout artist. White. Southern. Fast hands. Dirty mouth. During press week, Red Lion called him just another hype project from the media. On live TV. Said things like, he's just a black poster boy. You take away the drama, and he's nothing special. Twitter exploded. ESPN debated it for days. Malik didn't respond. Didn't post. Didn't tweet. He just trained. And waited. The night of the fight. The arena went dark. Spotlights swirled. Music blasted. Red Lion entered to Kid Rock. American flag robe. Yelling at the crowd. Throwing fake jabs at imaginary haters. Then came Malik. No flash. No fireworks. Just a deep beat. Heavy drums. He walked slow. Focused. Jayla right behind. Rick beside him. His robe just said, the ring don't lie. Round 1, Red Lion came hot. He jabbed hard, tested Malik's chin early. Crowd roared. Malik blocked, moved, tested his timing. Red Lion smirked. You nervous, boy? You ain't at your little Detroit gym no more. Malik didn't bite. He stayed composed. Clean. Tactical. Late in the round, Malik slipped a jab, countered with a sharp right hook. Red Lion's head snapped back. And the crowd gasped. Round 2, Red Lion got serious. He came in smarter. Body shots. Angles. Tried to bully Malik to the ropes. Commentators hyped it up. Red Lion is looking to humble this kid early. But Malik wasn't rattled. He pivoted off the ropes, doubled his jab, and ripped a left to the body. Red Lion flinched. Not visibly, but enough for Malik to see the opening. Round 3, fire. It was war now. Toe-to-toe exchanges. 1-2 combos, counters, sweat flying like rain under the lights. But then, Red Lion caught him. Uppercut. Flush. Malik staggered back, dazed. The crowd surged. Jayla stood up. Rick shouted, clinch! But Malik didn't. He steadied himself. Reset his stance. And stared straight at Red Lion. Eyes like steel. Red Lion blinked. Didn't expect him to still be standing. Round 4, Malik changed gears. He started dancing. Not flashy, tactical footwork. Ali style. Made Red Lion chase. Pup pup pup. Clean jabs. Slip. Counter. Dip out. The crowd turned. Cheers started leaning Malik's way. People on Twitter began saying, Yo, this ain't just some underdog. This dude is real. Round 5, the statement. Mid-round, Red Lion slowed. Breathing heavy. Malik smelled blood. He started working angles. Body head body. Left hook. Uppercut. Jab. Jab. Red Lion swung wild. And then, boom. Malik ducked and launched a right hand from hell. Redline spun, crumbled to the mat. The arena exploded. Ref counted to 8. Redline got up, wobbly, hurt, pride shattered. But the round ended. Final round. Rick looked him in the eye. You want this? Take it. Jaylick kissed his glove. Go make him remember. Bell rang. Redline charged in desperation. He threw combos like a man possessed. But Malik saw it all. It was like slow motion now. Slip. Counter. Pivot. Dig. Strike. Redline swung. Malik ducked. And with the weight of 1,000 buried insults, of every doubter, every racist whisper, he launched one perfect left hook. Redline hit the canvas, out cold. KO. Crowd went wild. Commentator yelling over the roar. And Malik Johnson has just knocked out Redline Carter. What a finish! What a statement! Malik didn't jump on the ropes. Didn't flex. Didn't scream. He just dropped to one knee. Closed his eyes. Let the moment settle. The aftershock. That KO went viral. 50 million views in 48 hours. CNN? ESPN. Bleacher Report. Even LeBron James reposted the clip. Headline everywhere. The ring don't lie. Malik took the belt. Not just the trophy, but the platform. He used it. Spoke at schools. Opened gyms in poor neighborhoods. Started a scholarship for young boxers of color. When asked by GQ what his proudest moment was, he didn't say the KO. He didn't say the title. He said, "A kid in Alabama wrote me. Said he walked into his gym for the first time. Said they didn't laugh at him this time. That's the win." 1 year later, Malik stood in front of a crowd. Crestwood Gym, now remodeled and full of life. He held a mic. Young boxers in the crowd. Cameras rolling. He said, "I walked into a gym where no one wanted me. I was told I didn't belong. But I stayed. I bled. I fought. And I earned it. This ain't just about boxing. It's about not folding. It's about walking into the room even when they don't want you there. And becoming so undeniable they gotta change the room itself. Keep fighting. Because the ring don't lie. And neither does your heart."